Okay, so today we're going to go over how to add address and phone number into Profiler. It sounds pretty straightforward, but you would be surprised how many creative entries that I see on any given day. So we're going to start off with the front of our chart. I'm using Hermione Granger again, our fictional character, where I have made up basically everything in this chart, okay? None of it is real health information. I'm going to click on the button that says Profile of Client, and there is a tab. I'm going to bring it to the center so you can see it a little bit better, called Addresses. Now, if anyone who runs the Profiler company happens to ever be watching this video, I would love to have the phone numbers in a separate tab right next to addresses. I think that would make things a lot more convenient for our staff. But anyway, right now the phone number is inside of the address tab. Makes it a little bit tricky. So if you were ever afraid to ask, where's the phone number? Because you thought that was a not a smart question. It is a smart question. It's just not in an intuitive spot. So I'm going to click addresses. Okay, and I have entered an address for her previously. So to view that, I'm going to double click on it. Okay, so this address is listed as a residence. So it means that's where she lived. Okay, here's her street number and address. Last name, first name. If she had an apartment number, I would put 3B or whatever it was there. Okay. Zip code, city, state. Very pretty straightforward. Okay. Receive statement being checked means that's where she gets her mail. Okay. And policyholder, that just means that she is the one on her insurance plan. Okay, kind of like how your insurance card might have your name on it. Okay, that's what that means. Okay. If I wanted to see her phone number, I could click that tab there, and I could see that she has a 757-708-2813. That's mine. So if you have any questions, you can text me at this number. The type is a cell phone, priority, primary contact method, permission. It's okay to text and leave a voicemail at this. Check the permissions on your stuff because some people only can get text. Some people do not want you to leave a message. So that permission box is clutch sometimes. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to just click OK to close. Pretty basic. What happens if her address changes? Okay. What I need to do, so I'm going to click OK, gets me back to this address. See where it has an effective date and an expiration date here? Okay. No expiration date means it's the active address for the person. This is where she's going to get her mail. This is where I'm going to drive to if, I need to visit her at home. So if any of that changes, it becomes the responsibility of typically the case manager or the primary person working with the individual. Okay, but if you are the one who is informed of the change, then I strongly recommend for you to be the one to update it. It's empowering, right? You don't have to ask anyone's permission because we want to make sure that their chart is always as up to date as possible. So what happens is sometimes I get requests like, oh my gosh, there's a fire on the 1008th block of Ocean View Avenue. I don't remember the exact address, but that actually happened. So I got a call late at night on the weekend. It was like, please check and see who lives there so that we can check on them and make sure that they're safe. Now, if someone was marked in Profiler as living there, but they no longer lived there, we just hadn't updated it, we end up kind of on a wild goose chase for somebody who doesn't actively live at that address anymore. So all of our reports are run off of whatever information is saved and up to date in the system. And if that information is wrong, then our ability to act on it is going to be wrong too. Okay, so it's very important to keep this up to date. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to click the expiration. I would do that if she no longer lives at this address. She doesn't stay there anymore. Expiration reason is usually for an address information changed. And then I'm going to click OK. See, now there's an expiration date there. Now we have to have an address for everyone. So even if Hermione doesn't live at that address anymore, but unfortunately she doesn't have another address or a residence to go to, let's say she's experiencing homelessness or living in her car or something like that, we still need to record that, okay? And what we do is we click on the plus. Okay, I'm going to say she is still the policy holder, and I'm still going to check receive statement. For our individuals who are experiencing homelessness, we can actually hang on to their mail, their bills, their information, but it won't work if that's not noted in their chart. Okay, so this is how you do it. Where it says address type, instead of residence, we are going to select the option for homeless. We also have an option for mailing address if somebody does have a mailing address. But in this example, I'm going to select that she is homeless and her last name goes here. Okay. And where the Street 1 address is, we are going to use 7447 Central Business Park Drive. And you can use DR for drive, just like you would if you're putting it on an envelope. So you could type that out if you want to, but you can also use the abbreviations that the post office uses. There's no apartment number for our, and the Central Business Park Drive is our main building address, which is why we use that. Street 2 would be blank. Now this, I really like this. Okay, so the zip code is 23513. If you hit tab on your keyboard, if it's any Virginia address, it will fill in city, state, county, country, all that kind of stuff, okay? If, let's say you're putting in a residence address and their residence is out of state, you have to put in the zip code. It will not pre-populate the city, state, all that stuff. You will just have to type in the city and the state abbreviation. Okay. Effective date is today because that's the date I'm updating it. And then there is a little notes box here. What we use that for is just internal communication. So if she doesn't have a permanent residence, I can make a little note if I'm aware of something about her. So I can say, can usually be located at Pretlow Library on most weekdays. And then I would use my name. That way, if someone is trying to find her, even though she doesn't have a personal address, then I'm still giving a little notification to other people that, hey, I'm aware of where she can be located most days, so we can find her here. Okay. So that can be really important. So don't keep that information in your head. Share it with your team so that they can fill in for you if you're ever out or needed, if they need it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to or to this phone, fax, email tab. I'm going to click on the plus. Okay, I'm going to update her cell. So I'm going to I'll put, make up a cell number. Okay, and you have to put the dashes on these. I'll say this is her primary contact method, and it's okay to text and leave a voicemail at this number. Effective date. Now, if I'm going to add an additional one, so let's say she's at the library most of the time, she might email me because that doesn't use up any of her minutes. Okay, so I'm going to click OK New, and it's going to save that cell phone number and then pop up another screen so that then I can say, oh, let's put our email address in, and I'm going to put sample email at gmail.com. Okay to exchange email at this address. So we still have one. Now we would not put like her social security number in the email address, right? Or in the email, but we can say, hi, I'm going to pick you up at 3 o'clock. Okay, so I mean, you can email with individuals. We just don't share PHI over email. Okay, same thing with texting. Effective date is today. I can even put a note, checks email daily. So if I needed to email her about an appointment that she has tomorrow, she probably would get that. Okay, and then I'll just put okay. So now I've saved an email and I've saved a cell phone number, and then I can click okay. So it is very, very important and required by the state that even if someone does not have a physical address, we still have something entered for them. And then that way, if we do need to pull a report of how many individuals are we currently serving who don't have a permanent address or who don't have a residence, we can find out that information. And that's really important information, okay? So I hope this was helpful for you. I'm going to save it now, always save. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.